This video is to introduce the DBT book as a course for a local group in my current life right now. It is also to introduce the book to people who find it on YouTube and want to pursue my YouTube channel and follow the course that way. It will present the homework assignments for the first week, so as you go along, go ahead and pause and complete the assignments, or watch it through once and then go through again and complete the assignments for yourself. DBT skills training, handouts, and worksheets. Here is the table of contents. The way this book is set up, there are handouts. So these are orientation handouts. Here's handouts for analyzing behavior. And then you have worksheets. You have orientation worksheets that go along with these explanations, and worksheets for analyzing behavior that go along with these ones. The goal of this book is to learn how to change your own behaviors, emotions, and thoughts that are linked to problems in living and are causing misery and distress. Here are some specific goals. We want to decrease emptiness, being out of touch with self and others, absence of flexibility, difficulties with change. We want to increase mindfulness, interpersonal effectiveness, distress tolerance, and then you can add your own personal goals. On my YouTube channel, I have an example of this with eating cabbage, but here are your options for solving any problems. And it's basically, if you have cabbage for dinner and that's not something you like, you can add cheese or do something to change it to make it taste better. You can adjust your attitude. You can eat the cabbage even though you don't like it. So these are the kind of similar. Maybe it's not so bad, or I hate it, but I'm going to eat it anyway. Or you can cry while you eat it and fight it, and that makes it worse to stay miserable. To problem solve, use your interpersonal effectiveness skills. We talk about walking the middle path later. Use problem solving skills to feel better about the problem. You're using your emotional regulation skills. To tolerate it, you're using distress tolerance. And to stay miserable, you're not using any skills. In this group, we make these assumptions. An assumption is a belief that cannot be proved, but we agree to abide by it anyway. We agree that people are doing the best they can. People want to improve. People need to do better, try harder, and be more motivated to change. People may not have caused all of their own problems or all of our own problems, but we have to solve them anyway. New behavior has to be learned in all relevant contexts. All behaviors, actions, thoughts, and emotions are caused. Figuring out and changing the causes of behavior work better than judging and blaming. This is biosocial theory. Why do I have so much trouble controlling my emotions and my actions? Emotional vulnerability is biological. It's simply how some people are born. They are more sensitive. They experience emotions more often or more intense or out of the blue. There's the more intense. Impulsivity also has a biological basis regarding regulating action is harder for some than for others. They find it very hard to restrain impulsive behaviors. Sometimes they get into trouble without thinking. Behavior seems to come out of nowhere. They find it hard to be effective. There's the rest of that. An invalidating social environment can make it very hard to regulate emotions. We are going to be in a group where people will potentially be very sensitive, but also would like to validate other people. So we need to create a social validating environment while also protecting people who are sensitive to emotional stimuli, and that's going to be a challenge for both parties. We do want to be very validating, but at the same time, we need to be careful for those who are sensitive. I'm very sensitive to other people's experiences, and I take it on as if it happened to me, and then I suffer along with them, which some of that suffering is unnecessary, or maybe more it can be prevented if we are just very, very careful. So we'll just all do the best that we can. An invalidating social environment can make it very hard to regulate emotions. Let's see. An invalidating environment doesn't seem to understand your emotions. It tells you your emotions are weird, wrong, or bad. It ignores your emotional reactions. So these are things that we don't want to do in our group. People who invalidate are often doing the best they can. They may not know how to validate or how important it is to validate, or they may be afraid that if they validate your emotions, you will get more emotional, not less. They may be under high stress, time, or pressure, or they may have too few resources themselves. They may be a poor fit between you and your social environment. You may be a tulip in a rose garden. An ineffective social environment is a big problem when you want to learn to regulate emotions and actions. Your environment may reinforce out of control emotions and actions. If people get in when you get out of control, it will be hard for you to get in control. It's the transactions that count between the person and the social environment. Biology and the social environment influence the person. The social environment reciprocates and influences the person. Next, we have handouts for analyzing behavior. This is an introduction to the first homework assignment. So you can pause and read if you'd like. Okay, then we get to the general worksheets. This is my example. You're welcome to read it. And fill out your own worksheets for analyzing behavior. This is the chain link thing again. So you would, let me take this off. I had a hard time with this. Ooh, assignment. I didn't have a very good scenario to apply this to, so I would suggest following the example. Let me get to the example first. Where is it? Okay, this is a really good example. Maybe I should just use this instead. So those are the orientation general worksheets and handouts and worksheets for the first homework assignment. And then after that, so it honestly still kind of confuses me. I think it's supposed to be there to help you get by or have a tool that you can use right away. After that, we go into mindfulness. Mindfulness is being aware of your body and all your feelings and sensations. Like, I'm holding my phone right now. I feel my feet inside my shoes. And after that, so the mindfulness section is quite long, and we would do that after the introduction. The main point of the introduction for me is to get everyone on the same page so that we know what it is that, how are we going to get started and transition into starting the mindfulness skills.